There's a snake in my boot. Hello! Welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For today's adventure, I've come to Independence, Missouri to check out the National Frontier Trails Museum. Okay, outside of the museum here, there's this statue of Jim Bridger. There's also a statue of a pioneer woman with child. The National Frontier Trails Museum has been recognized by the Department of the Interior for its outstanding efforts in the preservation and interpretation of history. Now, one of the first exhibits that are here when you walk in is this Lewis and Clark exhibit. Now, here is a model of one of the keel boats that were used on the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's a beaver. Here are some missionaries. Now here shows you where Independence is and all the things that started here in Independence and why Independence was such an important city in the westward expansion of the United States. This painting is called Heading Out of Independence. Here we have outfitting on the Missouri River frontier. There's some jumping off towns. Here's a little bit about Independence, which is another one of those important cities. We have Westport, which is now part of Kansas City. Weston, St. Joseph, and Council Bluffs, Iowa. Now this display here is kind of set up like a combination between a blacksmith shop as well as a frontier store, certain elements of it. It talks about here that when people were bitten by a rattlesnake, often their surgeon would give the person whiskey before they would cut the burn and try to get the poison out. And soon there were many people showing up claiming to be bitten by a rattlesnake, and the surgeon would tell them he would have to operate before he could give them whiskey. Here's a little informational item about the Oregon Trail. Here's one about the Santa Fe Trail. Here is the Santa Fe Plaza. This is about the Mormon Pioneer Trail. Here are some buffalo horns that were found on the Oregon Trail. That is a buffalo bladder that was used as a canteen. There's also I'm sure it's not real, but a piece of buffalo dung. Here we have a covered wagon. And here, information about the California Trail. Now this rocking chair was owned by William Newland. He went out to California to try to find his fortune in the gold rush of 1849, and he eventually gave up and he returned back home. And on his return trip, he found this rocking chair on one of the trails. Now all the items here are items that were owned by the Morrison family. They took very little with them out west as they followed the Oregon Trail. And these are some of the things that were left after their trip was over. Here is a kettle and a teapot and some axes that were found on the Oregon Trail that left behind. Here's a wheel to see what happens when you go out west on the find gold. And I found lots of gold and get filthy rich. And the trails, basically, they came to an end because of the railroads. The railroads replaced the trails. Now here's a children's area, and where you have a game of trying to load the wagon.
Well, this has been another adventure in TV land. If you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel for further content and ring that bell for email notifications. And if there's someplace that you would like to see me visit, or you have a suggestion about some future video you'd like to see, leave a comment in the comment section. And if you've enjoyed this adventure, or any of the adventures in TV land, you can help support this channel by going to Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon and making a donation or becoming a member there. You can also, if you would like, hit the super like button below. Thank you for watching. Until next time, that's a wrap.